Hi guys, it's Theodore here from ConsultingHQ, and today we actually don't have a question, but I'm going to tell you about why management consulting nearly killed me. Now, my story may help you, so let's get started. Okay guys, so today we're going to be talking about how management consulting nearly killed me. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about a story that happened to me a few years ago when I was consulting. And this story may actually help you in terms of identifying something or a bit of an issue that you may also be facing and how to avoid it, because it is quite serious. Now, before we get started into this story, please check out the links. They are in the bio. There are a ton of freebies in there, as well as the Management Consulting Bootcamp. So even if you're already in management consulting or you want to get into the management consulting industry, check out this bootcamp. You won't find it anywhere on the internet, and it has been created and authored by myself and a ton of industry experts. You're going to find it very useful. So how did consulting nearly kill me? Well, when I was traveling back and forth between my hometown and an interstate town, so a 3-hour trip away by plane, I was traveling nonstop between Monday and Friday. So I would get up early Monday morning, jump on a plane, and I'd fly to client site, again, which was 3 hours away. And I would live out of a hotel for the 4 nights and fly back on a Friday night to my hometown. Now, while I was working at this client site and I was living out of the hotel, I was always in a rush and I was always moving around and traveling. So what I mean by that was that I was getting up early in the morning on the Monday morning. I'd rush to the airport. I'd grab a takeaway coffee and a muffin or some sort of pastry. I'd jump on the plane. I'd have another coffee or another muffin on the plane or something like that. And then I'd work at the client site and I'd get takeaway again while I was eating at client site. And then when I got to my hotel in the evening, I would order room service, and the room service would be like a pizza or a hamburger with chips or, some other sort of junk food. In other words, I was not taking care of myself from a diet perspective. Now, I flew to the client site every Monday morning and flew back home on Friday nights. I did that every week for 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, and just before I finished this particular project with this client, I remember I just wasn't feeling 100%. I wasn't sleeping well. My gut was just always felt bloated. I also had what felt like maybe chronic fatigue and brain fog. I struggled to concentrate at work. I always felt dehydrated. I'd get snappy and short with people just for no reason. And I turned around sometime later and I go, hang on, that's just not me. That's not who I am. I never do that. And something was not right. So towards the end of that 6-month period when I was working with this client, I went and saw a doctor and I got a blood test. And sure enough, it revealed a whole host of problems. So for starters, my liver markers were just through the roof. But worse still was that my cholesterol was just out of control. And what the doctor told me, they said to me that if I had kept going for maybe another 6 months or maybe even a year with just a poor diet and not taking care of myself, I almost certainly would have had a heart attack. And guys, this is really serious. And this is a story that I'm telling you because maybe you are on client side at the moment, or you're working in a corporate environment where the stress and pressures of that job are diverting your attention away from the things that really count, which is your health. And because maybe you're rushed and you're stressed and you're working in a high-paced and intense environment, maybe you're taking shortcuts with your diet and therefore, grabbing that extra hamburger with chips or having, one too many soft drinks or grabbing one too many chocolate bars. And I know that because I did all those things. And I realized later how easy that was to do and how easy it was to fall into just that lack of discipline, and to the point where it got out of control and affected me, with me not even consciously realizing it. So I was on the verge of having a huge health problem, and that's why I'd say that particular time certainly nearly killed me, because I was well and truly on track to have a heart attack. So I'm saying this is a little bit of a horror story. And I want you to just think about, again, your own situation and your own position, because I'm telling you this because I certainly don't want it to happen to you. So if you've got any horror stories, that are sort of similar, or you feel that you're in that trap at the moment, I would recommend, first and foremost, go see a dietitian, because at the end of that 6 months, after I had the cholesterol and liver test results, I took upon myself to go see a dietitian, and that person put me on the straight and narrow. I started eating healthy at work. I had salads, lots of water at my desk. I stayed away from the chocolate bars, and I made sure I had healthy snacks throughout the day as well, like nuts and fruits and things like that, as opposed to, junk food that was going to make matters worse. So I had a really good diet in place, and I had a coach that was making sure that I was staying on track with that diet. And I was also doing a lot more exercise as well. And after a couple of months, I recovered and have never felt better. And I've stuck with that routine ever since. So go help a dietitian if you are stuck. If you're in an environment where you believe you've got unhealthy conditions in your environment and around you, and maybe through your eating or maybe even through a lack of exercise, as you know, there's always help available. So drop me a comment if you have any questions with respect to my personal circumstances, or a comment about your own situation or own circumstances, or any stories that you may have heard of as well. Absolutely, I'd love to hear them. And if you've got any questions, by the way, I will do a follow-up video to this one and keep the discussion going, because that's what we do here at ConsultingHQ. So that's it now. That's the end of this video podcast, and that's how management consulting nearly killed me. If you enjoyed this little chat, this video podcast, hit the like and subscribe button. And as I said before, don't forget to check out the links in the bio below. Okay, so that's it, and we'll see you next time.